I believe basically in stacks long term, and I'm really bullish on it. And it's like, well, in 2017, ETH was also just early days, and they had the fork, and they had the problems, and they were trying to get a mass adoption and things. And I see stacks the same way. Super early days, super great team. I mean, the only way is up, basically. So I'm like, okay, let's try and get Satoshibles a presence on there as soon as possible, so that we can become one of the first ones over there, and try and like cement ourselves to become a decent NFT project there as well. So in 5 or 10 years, people look back and go, oh, okay, they were in the mix as one of the early adopters of stacks, and does get there and benefit from the ecosystem. When we opened up this conversation of let's try and get a presence on stacks, I asked some questions like, well, how do you do that? Do you want to mint a separate collection there, meaning that the kind of overall number of Satoshibles will be duplicated, right? Which is not what I wanted to do. I didn't want to dilute the supply. Do we bite the bullet and just say if you want to move to stacks, you're burning your Ethereum one forever, and then it's minted on stacks and you can never go back? That was an option. But we landed on, ultimately I want to give people the choice, and it's all about, that's how I wanted to do it. If I was a holder, I would want the choice, right? And I want to just go back and forth as I please. So that was the thing I decided to target, and that was the goal we basically achieved, which is I'm really happy with. But it's not an easy thing to do. So there was a lot of back and forth of terms of how do we do this thing, And the concept is you can take your Satoshable at ETH and then bridge it over, and what that'll do was it will lock it on the ETH side, and then it'll unlock it on the stack side. And the result of that is that one single ID, one single Satoshable cannot live on both blockchains at the same time. And that's a pretty unique thing as well. And I think it's a pretty cool aspect to what we've done. My take on interoperability is basically like, it's not just about moving it there for no reason. Like you would move these things for a reason, and interoperability gives you the ability to do these things. So my example would be like, why would you want to move your Satoshi to stacks? Well, there's 2 reasons. One would be have an NFT which is backed up and secured by Bitcoin. It's a major selling point for us. But then it's also having access to that market, which is a completely new, up and coming, growing market with its own liquidity. So that's like the two reasons why you'd want to go there. But like interoperability in general will be a massive thing going forward for the whole crypto space, because there'll be some blockchains that do things better than other blockchains. And you want to give people that choice to just move around freely as they want. If they want to do something on ETH, let's say ETH will become the massive player for metaverse things, which is already looking like it will be. Then you just have the interoperability there to move your NFT from some Solana back to Ethereum, from stacks to whatever you want to take on. But like every blockchain, I think will eventually have its main use case. And that's how I see it. I think stacks with developments and also just like Lightning payments and Bitcoin direct payments as well, it's going to be huge for the stacks ecosystem in terms of just onboarding Bitcoin people. I think that once that happens, the market there is going to explode, the liquidity will explode. So in terms of who's going to have the best marketplace, that's hard to say. But niche things like metaverse or DeFi or physical in real life transactions, one blockchain will probably win on those specific things, and then that's where interoperability will come, when you want to just be able to have your asset that you can just transfer around the place, and it's not just stuck in one bubble.